There's a hot new blockchain in town that's causing quite the roar. It is one of the most passionate communities I've ever seen, and all my airdrop friends are excited about their upcoming airdrop. The project's name? Berachain, and boy does it have a lot of hype. But what I want to know is it worth all that hype? After all, their token has not launched yet, so there is an opportunity to get in early if you end up liking it. That's why in this video, I want to share with you all the research I've done on this project, organized into pros and cons, followed by my final verdict. Let's start with the pros. Okay, so Berachain is essentially an EVM compatible layer 1 blockchain. But there's so many of those out there, so what really sets it apart? Well, for one, it's secured by a unique consensus mechanism called proof of liquidity, rather than your typical proof of work or proof of stake. It works by having users provide liquidity to the network in order to earn rewards and governance tokens. Validators also produce blocks based on how much liquidity they control. So all in all, the system is designed to foster solid liquidity and distribute network control across the different types of participants out there. Now, the other key differentiator is Berachain's tri-token system. Yep, that's right. They're gonna have 3 tokens. First, there's BERA. This is their network token that will be used for transaction fees. Second, there's Honey, a dollar-pegged stablecoin that's native to their network. And third, there's BGT, a governance token that's used to vote on proposals and things like that. So the goal of the system is to create a dynamic and engaged user base that has their incentives aligned with the network's long-term goals. In a world where liquidity is increasingly fragmented across all the Ethereum layer 2s out there, this is a really fresh approach in my eyes. But anyhow, while that's cool and all, I think what really sets Berachain apart is its community. You see, Berachain started off as an NFT project before evolving into a full-fledged blockchain network. The community is called the BERA cult, and trust me, they are one dedicated group. The BERA cult isn't just about numbers, it's about the quality and enthusiasm of its members. They've been creating lore, organizing competitions, hosting podcasts, and minting NFTs, all to support and promote Berachain. Their BitBears NFT collection has also done quite well. The collection has racked up around 8,000 ETH in volume on OpenSea, with a floor price of around 3.8 ETH. So that's really impressive considering the bloodbath in NFTs over the last few years. Even during the bear market, the BERA cult stuck with the project, showing incredible resilience and belief in Berachain's vision. There's also an initiative called the Honey Jar, which was founded in 2023 by a community member. The Honey Jar runs social experiments on platforms like Mirror, where the community can mint lore articles and assets. It quickly became the top grossing author, accounting for over 25% of all funds raised. So this kind of grassroots support is quite rare and powerful. And it shows that Berachain has a strong foundation built by people who really believe in it. Now, here's the thing. Berachain is more than just a strong community. It's focused on building a robust ecosystem that includes everything from DeFi to AI to DePIN to NFTs and more. It's really quite impressive for such a young chain. And this extensive ecosystem is a direct result of something called the Fat BERA thesis. You see, in previous market cycles, value in the blockchain space was believed to accrue mainly to the protocol layer. That theory was called the Fat Protocol thesis. However, the Fat BERA thesis shifts this idea, suggesting that dApps now capture more of the value as they achieve product market fit. So Berachain is really focused on attracting the best dApps and being a dApp-centric chain. For example, when it comes to DeFi, Berachain is already home to projects like BearSwap and HoneyDex, and derivatives platforms like BERA Options and PerfBear. Furthermore, in the consumer apps category, there are social apps, unique trading card games, and PvP applications. And hey, they're even dabbling in the hot AI sector with apps like Omo. So point is, the Berachain ecosystem is truly poppin'. But hold up, because while Berachain has some cool apps and a strong thesis, this project is by no means a slam dunk. There's actually a bunch of cons that you have to consider before you make a decision about this project. Starting with the fact that it's still relatively new and unproven. For all their promising ideas, they haven't even launched their mainnet yet, and without real-world usage, it's hard to predict how well they'll actually perform. Many of its mechanisms, such as proof of liquidity and their tri-token system, sound great on paper, but they really need to be tested in the wild to see if they can truly deliver. So until Berachain has a track record of successful operations and proven resilience, there's a significant risk that looms over the chain. We also need to see if the community's enthusiasm will translate into tangible success once the tokens finally launch. We've seen before that even the strongest community can run away once the hype dies down. So without a proven track record, there's no other way to put it. Berachain is still a highly speculative bet. Now, another major con is the fact that Berachain is heavily backed by the VCs. I mean, having venture capital support isn't inherently a bad thing. It can provide crucial funding and resources after all. But in the case of Berachain, there are some red flags. The project has already conducted 3 funding rounds where it raised a ton of capital. They did a $10 million seed round at a $50 million FDV, a $42 million Series A round at a $420 million FDV, and then a $100 million Series B round at a whopping $1.5 billion FDV. So this means that a substantial amount of Berachain's tokens have already been allocated to private investors at a really low cost basis. That could potentially lead to a situation where they have a high fully diluted valuation along with a low circulating supply, and that could lead to tons of selling pressure once the tokens unlock. There's a real risk that once these tokens hit the market, early investors will dump in order to realize profits, causing the price to plummet and hurting anyone who buys post-launch. Moreover, the heavy VC backing raises concerns about the project's decentralization and long-term commitment to the community. Like, will the interests of retail investors and community members be prioritized? Or will the VC's influence dominate? Anyhow, my third con is the fact that Berachain still has not launched after such a long time. In fact, it's really concerning that there isn't even a date yet for the launch. This lack of clarity extends to key details about their token allocation and airdrop eligibility. Many prospective investors and community members are in the dark about how and when they might receive tokens and what the final distribution will look like. There were rumors that the mainnet was set to launch in Q2 of this year, but that didn't happen. Now, the community is left speculating on whether it'll be pushed to Q3 or even Q4 of this year. Also, there's no confirmed information about the airdrop either, so this lack of transparency raises questions about the project's readiness and the team's ability to deliver on their promises. For a project with so much potential, having a clear roadmap is key to maintaining trust and excitement within the community. Anyhow, regardless of all those cons, there is one more that I gotta share with you, and that be their overfarmed testnets. On one hand, you might think that having so many users on their testnets is a good thing, but it actually comes with its own set of problems. You see, the sheer volume of activity, reportedly over 20 million users, raises serious questions around identifying genuine community members versus Sybil attackers looking to exploit their airdrop. This overfarming could severely impact the integrity and fairness of their future token distribution, and it also adds another layer of complexity to their already challenging tokenomics. Alright, so now that we've considered all these pros and cons, let's go back to our original question. Is Berachain worth the hype? Well, I think it's clear that Berachain has a lot going for it, but my final verdict is to be cautiously optimistic. If the broader macroeconomic conditions are favorable to crypto and Berachain can successfully navigate its launch, then I think it has the potential to be a strong contender. After all, VCs do love to pump their own bags. But if the macro stays troublesome, or if the project stumbles with one of its issues, then it could struggle to meet the high expectations set by its community. So that's my nuanced take, but what do you think? Are you hyped by Berachain and looking forward to its airdrop? Well, if so, maybe you should watch this video where I explain why crypto airdrops are dead and what you can do to avoid the bad ones while farming the good ones.